Live now. Live now. Gotta do my favorite part, as you all know, and do the pre-stream post. So we're gonna get that set up just right now. So we're gonna get the YouTube link for everyone. Otherwise, we vibing. We doing our thing. Otherwise, I appreciate everyone who's been tuning in so far. I know we've got a lot of YouTube viewers slowly accruing. As I've been telling everyone, the best way to support is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you've just found me now, bro, bless to you. Thank you for coming through. I feel mad grateful here for having the presence of anyone, regardless of their subscription levels. Excuse the chair sound effects is the only thing I'm going to add. Excuse the chair sound effects. And YouTube live link. Plus Twitch plus cake. At NarleyMedia. Alright. I'll be fighting my battery again. It's just been I have a bad habit with my cell phone battery that I know I have to shoot today, but still then I take a breather for the afternoon. I start off the day, I'm already a little low because I was doing things all morning, and then I get to work and I'm like, fuck, I'm already at 40% battery. Then I take a lunch break, then I'm like, oh golly gee, I'm at like my battery's already drained down to almost like 15%. So I'm just always like hustling to make sure that I keep this thing charged. Fortunately, I've got a good like little efficient process done and down to be sure that I can like get that thing locked in. But it's always a distracting dichotomy, as it were, to be able to make sure it's like, oh my god, okay, so I gotta set up the lot title, I gotta set up the lot description, keep that thing plugged in so that it's getting some juice. Like, even I gotta double check now, I need to get a new USB-C to USB-C cable because this bad boy, it's all janky, super janky. Like, I have to fiddle it to make sure that it's actually plugged in there. But hey. There are so many worse things I could be whining about in life, so I'm not going to complain about the fact that I've got a USB-C cable that ain't that hot. You know, I already be handling a lot in life, so that's like low priority concern. YouTube subs, as I said, is what I'm seeking. I got a good jump today. I got a good like 20 subs on the YouTube, so I can't really say nothing about that. I'm pretty happy with that. Shouts to y'all. I gotta share it to my main IG page, but first we're going to clean and do these bottles, and then I'm gonna do the post. Right now we're starting off with, I have 2 XL 20-ounce Coca-Cola bottles. These bad boys, if I had to professionally label it, they definitely feel like they've got screw tops, so they at minimum have to be the 80s. There's a possibility that they are the 90s. But the graphic design, like the sticker design, so the subtlety of aging materials like this, like old Coca-Cola bottles and shit, is based on A, the lip that they have on them, and then B, how the graphics are applied. So older bottles were directly painted on. Now, still using factory machinery, but they were directly painted onto the bottles. And then as you headed into the 80s, that's when they started using vinyl style graphics. And so, like something like these Coke bottles look as if they were painted on, but they were heat treated onto the bottles. And then, as you got into the late 80s and 90s, is our more modern application of having the paper label that was glued on. Now, that seemed counterintuitive, but the glue for these bottles only became cheap and effective in that late 80s period. So it was way more commonly used by then to start applying the paper labels. Versus these vinyl ones were probably the most inefficient. But I'm not going to go get the other, I don't want to get the ginger ale ones to show you. But like these are the vinyl ones, right? And you see them. There's a little bit of texture on them. If you were to feel the label, you can feel that there's a lip up. But as you can see, it kind of looks like it was painted on, but there's no impurities in it, right? Like it's very obviously not hand painted, like it's stamped on, okay? You can kind of tell the similar from the top, like the money back guarantee at the top. If you look real close, if it focuses, you can see that there are errors in the application of that label, which helps you know that it was like stamped and or a vinyl. Okay? So these are Canadian ones, which should be interesting. We shall see. I think they are. I'm going to share the other one. Photos. Zoom in. Bop. So we'll do the money back guarantee on the floor. Bam. The thing is, you think they would because there would be like less of them, like counterintuitive to typical collector's markets. Canadian bottles from these eras really do not make a difference on the overall value of the item that you're documenting. Like, because it's got French and English, you would think it's like some sort of rare piece, but I guess just because of the sheer population difference between the two North American giants, that is us and the US of A, that they just don't care. The Americans just do not care. They want the American one. But it's always like a fun little surprise to me that it's like, you think because it's got two languages on it, it would apply more value to the item. But surprisingly, that's just not the case. And man, that's the only thing I hate about when I'm fighting my battery. You have to constantly go back and plug it. Go back and plug it. Remember to plug it. Where's the bottle? Where's the bottle? Where's the bottle? Nope, 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 nope. I know I saved them. Large Coca-Cola bottles. Great condition. Great condition. Appear to be from the late 80s. Must be at minimum, considering the screw tops. And label application methods. Blop. Take that. Doop, 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 doop. Done. Added. Saved. Fantastic. Okay. So we'll share to the next story. Add that YouTube live link. And as you saw, we already have to clean the bottles, so we'll get on top of that. Like, these are another great example of the supply and demand, because technically all of these bottles are worth a good amount of money. But who's in the market to buy large antique soda bottles, right? Like, you're looking for a very freaking specific person. It's also elections in Canada right now, so it's like hotbed time for everyone to be bickering in the frickin' IG stories. And the Conservative Party of Canada just posted "Free the Zin," of course. That's I'm watching mad people say, hey, yeah, they'll change their vote in the 12th hour just for the Zin. It's actually a funny bit. I like that bit. I think it's obvious where I stand on the political spectrum, but I'm also like, I've become very nihilistic about the entire landscape at the moment. 115 or the Coca-Cola bottles. What's good? Rap music DM? For some reason your chat bot didn't go through to my other window, so I do apologize there. Thank you for dropping in. Hope you're doing well. Again, I want to remind everyone that I do simulcast. So I am on Twitch, I am on the Kick, and I am on the YouTube all at once. On days like these, I'm low-key. I'm just sharing what I do for work and populating my feeds. I do like to do a variety of content, so you can catch me working on my antiques. You can catch me working on a couple different things throughout the week. This one, for example, I'm going to be working on a website that I'm developing for a private client, which I'm actually quite inspired for. I'm going to finish a little bit more work this evening. Then tomorrow, I got to figure out my taxes, because the tax man is at my fucking neck. $115. 115. Boys are texting away, but it is my business partner, so let me just make sure it's not something important. Yeah, so it's nothing important. I can skip this. Okay. Used to be in a fun marketplace, but I got the boot for being too Bailey-ish, and I was a little opinionated. Didn't necessarily insult them. I've learned from my life lessons of being too much of a lousy boy, someone who spoke his opinion way too much. But in this case, they did not understand how to associate with someone who is comfortable speaking those opinions. So I got the boot from an environment that wasn't very beneficial for me in a work capacity, but it was also my own doing. So as much as it is frustrating, I have my judgments of them. I don't carry any personal burden from them, because at the end of the day, they're just doing them. It took me a long time in terms of my own This man, hot and cold, hot and cold. My business partner, I love him. And I'm fine with this being on the record. I'm fine if he's watching live. He's just adorable because of it. But he's either the most inspired person that I've ever met, or he's also like, I'm just gonna burn everything. I'm just gonna burn it all. Yeah, it won't be cheeky. It won't be cheeky then. Adore him. Adore working with him. I have no problem with it. But he's either like, we are going to conquer the world today, or he's like, we have to burn down all of society. So sometimes his attitude, like he's having a bad day unloading out at the retail workspace, and like usually he's like, "Oh, we're gonna do this. It's going so great. I'm so happy with it's going." And then sometimes he's like today, he's just like, "I'm going to just dose it all in gasoline and burn it all." Diet 7 Up. Calorie reduced diet. I don't know why they even put protein on the label when it has zero protein. It's got nothing on the bottom of the bottle. Diet Tab. So this is the other curious one. Diet Tab. Tab Cola was a competition. Was it made? I think it was made by a different company before it was bought by Pepsi. No, Coca-Cola. I think his Tab was supposed to be their energy drink one. 7-Up logo really doesn't look so different. It's probably the most... a lot of them have modernized. This is the 7-Up is always the most similar. Screw top, screw top. Nothing on bottom. Nothing on bottom. Good condition. 7-Up has a beat up label. And right here. Good condition. 7-Up bottle has the most beat up label. Made in or produced for Canada. Given screw top bottles must be as late as the 80s minimum. Fun product history piece. Boop, 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 boop. Add the measurements. Let's see what I forgot to do once again. Again, quite happy with the YouTube analytics. Where are we sitting? We're sitting at 409, possibly 410 by the time of this. I got easily 30 subs in the last day. Okay, 409 still, but I'll stop neurotically checking it as much. I guarantee by the time I'm home, hitting that 410. It's a good stat. It's a good stat. Okay, those are in. Now we're on to the fresh items that I have to both do the titles as well as the rest of the stuff for. And we stopped with the Champion Juicer. Now we stopped with the suitcase, so I can start moving on to household stuff, and it's not that weird. So maybe I'll do the bags that I have available first. So we'll do 120, 121 on the bags. These two bottles are 116. Yes, they are. So add a lot. We're going to go to 120. I'm going to try to push through. I need to get, so if we're at 120 now, my goal minimum, I have to shoot 20 more today as we're here, which I think is doable. I am always much slower when I'm sitting here talking to you guys in chat, but that gives me 2 hours, 2.5 hours to be able to do 20, and I think it's possible, but we'll see. There's a chance I get hung up, but I'm feeling kind of spicy today, so let's get it done. Okay, so 116. As much as I love this job, I am also in the season that I am looking for a part-time gig. I applied today to work for the enemy. I applied today to work for 1-800-GOT-JUNK. But I figured A, it's like I'm in the same sector, and B, it's not such a terrible thing if I learn the ins and outs of how they do what they do and why they do what they do, right? So if I can go to a large-scale company like 1-800-GOT-JUNK, I'm only going to be gaining more data on how to do this job more effectively. So as much as it's like, I'm literally working for the enemy, it's like, strategically, probably not the worst choice of my life, you know? I really love this packing tape machine for these labels. I really didn't think it was worth it. Like, I'm like, oh, it doesn't save me that much time. Why am I going to load it into that machine every time just to be able to put labels on things? But seriously, having it to be able to just peel out the tape, snap it, and then do a label, and like, you don't have to find the end, you don't have to fit all as it's straight, you don't have to like then cut it off and then reset it. It just like snaps straight every time. So I go, okay. If not for efficiency's sake, for sanity's sake, it's definitely well worth it. Which I didn't expect. Classically, as always, I was a little pessimistic. I was like, there's no fucking way this is worthwhile. $120 is my lot. Okay, so we did the bottles, but the last one I did was a home thing, so I'll do the bag thing first. What's this posture collector? How did this end up here? Oh, it's the thing he was, my business partner's wearing. I'll do the backpacks, and then I'll do the coffee maker, and then the light bulbs, and then I'll switch to the media materials, and then we'll get into the houseworks. That's how we're going to go about it. Just double check the bags. As always, you want to make sure if I'm selling a backpack that there ain't a bunch of junk in it that I'm just giving away for free. Because you know if a client comes, they'll gladly take it and not say nothing. Most of the time, even on these auction pickups, they're just not looking through it. It is licensed product. Lucasfilm. So pre-Disney, Lucasfilm, Rebels, Star Wars backpack Rebels, appears to be unworn, mid-condition. Save the battery, we gotta do the right thing. I gotta slide in here and do this. Star Wars backpack. Rebels. Star Wars Lucasfilm backpack. Rebels. Good condition. Mid-quality build overall. Appears to be unused. 2 large pockets as typical. Considering Lucasfilm license, this would have been a pre-Disney piece. Yep, fire out the shots. Pop, pop. 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 Side little packs. Detail on the actual thing. Do a quick measurement shot. It's about 19 inches, I would say, 17, 18. Put that in. Take this across the side. We are looking at 12 inches. So my general estimate would be that it's about a 20-liter backpack. Probably about 25, possibly 30, just with how sturdy it is. It adds a little bit more flexibility to the spectrum of how many liters this bad boy can hold. Okay, so Star Wars Lucasfilm backpack Rebels. Share, 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 share. Locked in right there. Share, share, and locked in right there. There. Rearrange. Put one of these ones at the very back. I will show you guys right now what that looks like, and that should have been item number 120, and we're moving on to 121 next. 121 is a makeup travel bag that I've been carrying around for ages. It is stunning. I do like a lot about it. I think this is one of the personal ones. I think my mom used to carry this one around in the 90s, but don't have much I can do with it. This is from one of my original plugs. Shout out to Sean McNeil. I shouldn't have used the last name, so let's just pretend that didn't happen. And I said it wrong anyway, so you wouldn't be able to find him. But my boy is a big collector of like nerdy memorabilia, and he was one of the first people to recognize that I was serious about pursuing this path in life. So this gentleman hooked me up with a lot of like interesting rare collectibles that he otherwise was like, he's like, I was gonna donate them, like otherwise I wouldn't use them. And this man, there's like two folks in my life. One you see in the chat if you watch these ones often. I do want to remind everyone I do simulcast them live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. But one of the ones, we've got Matrix, Miss Matrix, who pops in here quite often. She stops and says hello. She used to chat a lot more, but she's doing some big things in life right now, so she tends to be quite busy. She was one of the people that believed in me, gave me a massive amount of product to be able to get started that otherwise she wouldn't have had it, and she wouldn't have been able to monetize or make use of. And then the other person is the one that I accidentally said his name is Sean, the homie. Same thing, big time collector. He's got a very steady job, but collects a lot of things. Has some high quality, hyper rare stuff that is always very intriguing and engaging to observe. And I am the most blessed that when I was getting this started, I told him it's what I wanted to do. I told him it's what direction I wanted to go with my stuff, and he had faith. He was like, hey, you know what? You want to do this? I have to give this stuff away otherwise, so take it, cut me in, and like, bro, when I'm making money, I'm cutting him a big fucking check. Like, I pay him out evenly for the percentages that I make off of his stuff, because now I'm not so reliant on backpack orders. I am procuring much more product to the degree that I'm not really relying on selling and stuff. But bro, there's gonna be the day in the next 5 years that if I'm like, okay, I got an extra grand, I got an extra $2,000, this man's gets it just off rip. No questions asked, no math needed. It's just like he deserves it. He should take it. He should take it. Like, sincerely. Okay. So next we've got the makeup bag. Wow, the hockey cards are crazy. They sell the tape off the stick, eh? An Ovechkin card makes sense. Ovechkin buys the cards. Oh my god, these guys are serious, eh? Crazy. Very cool. Very cool. I set up with a card shop recently, and they are actually great people. So glad I stumbled into the right card shop to be hustling with. Inspirational. I appreciate how they have their business set up, and they're very honest with me. The guy I deal with explains, clarifies. I'd say explains because I'm fine with being humble. Explains why the card is at the value that it is. Considering I already cover such a spread of products, that's why I started coming to him, because listing the individual cards, becoming dealing with high-end sports cards, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, when I am already inundated with dealing with such a variety of products, and I have to obtain such a breadth of knowledge on such a variety of content, that it ends up, sometimes it's a little bloody tiring to add another lexicon of fucking business knowledge to the whole spectrum. So I was looking for a card guy for a while, because people continually come to me like, hey, I got hockey cards I want to sell, right? And I'm like, I can listen to my eBay store. It takes me goddamn 20 minutes. Sometimes listing the cards take a little bit longer because you need to check them. You need to check their condition. It's such a specific field. That's why I was just observing the page of that card shop that I'm working with, and they're at an expo for their products, right? Observing the expo. They're doing an expo like that because of the exact same problem that I run into. Even if you have the slabs, even if you have the super nice pieces, it's taking the photos, finding the specifics, double checking the PSA population, contrasting the prices to the current market price. It adds up in a very obnoxiously long pace. So we've got a 1990s makeup travel bag. I would do makeup and toiletries so that I'm not making it biased. And travel bag. I have the worst bladder today. I swear to God. I'm trying to be healthier. I've been drinking so much agua, and my body is just you know what? You need to pee 20 times today. How about that? I don't think I like either of those photos. I do not like either of those photos. These are kind of trash. Would you? Whoop. Got it. Yeah, that's a good shot. So, it's like an aperture issue. Again, I was a photographer with a photography studio in the past. So one of the quick key lessons, I think it's got a fake polo logo on it. There's no way it's actual polo. Where's the tag? Yeah, it's 100% gotta be fake. It's good enough build material, but there's no fucking way. I do feel a little nostalgic to this one. I'm humming and hawing on a personal basis for this one, because this is a good travel kit. It's an excellent sized travel kit. I'm starting to get to the point that I have a stupid amount of product and things that I need to bring when I go traveling. So I could use this little wrap up. But you can't put many big liquids in anyways when you travel, so... No, I'm gonna let it pass. We're gonna let it pass. So I think it's fake polo. It's gotta be fake polo. Good condition. I'll write the description after, and then I'll leave it plugged in. It is high quality linen, and it's well built, even if it's China made. And I can't find a tag. It's funny, there's no tag on this bad boy. which I'm surprised at. Can't believe that there's no tag. 20 inches by 10 inches. Little wrap around. Then you got the little loopy. Typically you don't need it. But okay, we'll go loopy through both of them. Loop 1, loop 2. Oh, this is why I need a second camera, so you guys can get a bit of this action. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking about one of the YouTubers I miss, Louis Rossman. I gotta go look his shit up. Definitely got beat down by the algorithm for always talking about such political things, but he's like one of the biggest computer nerds. He was definitely up against Linus back in the day. And Linus just sold out is the wrong term, but Linus chose the commercial method. My phone didn't like that for whatever reason. That was the first time my frame rate was down on my channel. I guess I'm changing the light conditions very rapidly, but that was a strange one. Oh, we gotta do a 1990s makeup bag. Good condition. Some signs of use on the materials inside of the vinyl pockets. Unique design, not seen often nowadays. Hard one to pass up. The zippers have what appears to be a Polo / Ralph design. Ralph Lauren is the Polo design. It's got to be Ralph Lauren Polo. Yeah, it is. Polo Ralph Lauren design. Zippers, but I do highly suspect they are Fugazi. No capital. Fugazi. Due to the lack of labels otherwise. Bam. Insert 1. Back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Add images, added, saved. Another lot, we're looking at 122. 122. Go to the catalog real quick, we'll sync these up. We're looking at 122. Double check what the homies are saying because they're going off. I am moving slower than I need to be, so I need to get these two done. I am not happy with my work pace right now. Lot 121. Yeah, if you want to dig through my archives, you'll be able to very easily figure out the marketplace that I'm disappointed with. Poor leadership, poor management qualities. Very clear that it was like organized by people who had the financial capabilities and, to be fair, the intellectual and business know-how how to do it. But they never actually managed a business before. So it's like this funny dichotomy of like, you get the opportunity, you can have all the opportunity and the business knowledge in the world, but if you've never actually managed folks in a work environment, then shit can go left quick. But what's good, Stone? What's good? How you doing, friend? Nice to see ya. I got a posture corrector. I don't think I can shoot that here. Then we probably need the other, yeah. It's not gonna look good here. Did the backpacks. I've got the plates and stuff. I've got the light bulbs. I've got some grow lights. You're doing well, sir? Good to hear. I've got the world's most acting uppy bladder. Just picked my niece up from school. Was chilling for a bit until your sister got back. That's cool. I never considered that your nieces and nephews. I was gonna say. I thought there was a more general word for nieces and nephews, but it's good. It's cool that the nieces all go to school in town. I'll switch to decorative, and to do the in-between, I'll do this big-ass fucking candle. And then I'll switch to the guitar, cap, and so float between backpacks. Maybe I should we'll do the one coffee maker super quick. We'll do the coffee maker. We've got so many coffee makers in this place. Black & Decker works. Tested takes power. I'll be right back. 2 seconds, literally. I'm not even with the screen on. I'm dying. Alright, sorry bro, I'm back right away. Oh my gosh. Woo! I had a little stream there, but you know what I also realized? We already shot this Black & Decker one in the last auction, so I'm just going to add that label. But she at the age where she will just say the most absurd things. I'm so not used to kids. I've just been adjusting to kids after dealing with Patty's child. Title and pics from last. Coffee maker. Title and pics from last. Done. 122, so it's 122, so I'm on to 123 then. So I did the coffee maker, and then I'm switching up to that big-ass candle that I saw, and I'm at 123. So again, if I can get another minimum 10 done, then I will be happy, but I want to make it to 140, and then I can call it a good week. Tomorrow will be a day off stream, and then Wednesday I will be doing another golf stream all day, So they've been really successful. I need to stay on top of it because I've really got a snowball going. I surpassed 400 subs on YouTube today. In fact, I should end the day at 410, which is exactly what I needed. So I need to keep that golf upload train rolling until I get to 1,000, and then I can start to pivot the content direction of that platform specifically. But right now I need to capitalize on what's working while the algo is favoring me. So I'll be uploading another golf video tonight that I already have prepared in the background. I usually do about 4 to 5 per stream, but on Wednesday I want to do an all-day web work day. So as I'm developing my website, I'll have those golf tapes going. So I imagine I should be able to get 6 done, 8 if I'm lucky, and then that should charge me up for about another week to a week and a half. So. Black & Decker coffee maker was already done, and that was something I was neglecting. I've been keeping up with the phone charge enough, and we're at 123. And we'll just slap another tag on there. Put these all away at the very end, and we're coasting. If I blow up on, I can't believe, I've just been haunted by, like, last week, someone dropped in the YouTube chat that was, like, excited. No, I wasn't excited. I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating based off of my own excitement. But I had someone drop into the YouTube chat, and they're like, wow, I really enjoy what you do. But you need view bots. You need to buy view bots. And I was like, oh my god. Like, yeah, I know. Don't tell me. I understand. Yeah, it was a genuine person in the YouTube comments. A genuine person. I was like trying not to, they weren't trying to sell me view bots. They were just like, yeah, I really like this content, but you need view bots if it's going to work. And I'm like, fuck. Tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it. I'm like, I realized. I chose the hard path. He's like, yeah, this is fun. This is really fun, but you need view bots. Fuck. He's like, god damn it. Don't remind me. Don't remind me. You know what I also need? I also need $1 million, okay? May as well put that in the same category. Yeah, if you bought me 10,000, I guess I could do a minor view botting, but I can give you some info on Discord. I was asking a buddy about it the other day. Hey, yeah, we can talk about it on Discord. I already know how it works. I know the hustle. They use URLs and yada yada. I know there's a whole means to it. Like, half of me wants to, but like, I think it helps, but at the same time, because of the way I'm doing things, like, my follower count is already so low that I'm debating about if I want to say this on record. This is why you've got me pausing so much. I would be willing to fudge the numbers to a healthy degree and not compromise my integrity. But at the moment, because I am so small, because you see that it's you and only a few other people in the chat all the time, I wouldn't want to fudge the numbers when there's legitimately only a handful of people in the chat. If I was up to the point that I have got like 5, 10, 15 people talking on a consistent basis, just hanging out on a daily every time I turn on stream, then I would be willing to pay to make it look to pay to have it up to like 100 views per stream, you know, like 100 viewers. I just, the sussy worst shit I find, like, everyone's just playing the game, and I can admit I'd be fine with that, and I can say it now, and that's why I had to ponder. I'm fine inflating a bit, but inflating to a healthy degree. If I only have 5 people in my chat and I have 1,000 viewers, that is what feels gross. That's what doesn't, then I'm just 100% abusing the entire scale. If I have like 1,000 viewers and there's only 5 people talking, It's like, no, then I'm just not only lying to my viewers, I'm lying to myself, because as soon as I stop paying that guy to give me free fucking bot views, then the whole goddamn charade falls apart anyways. So you're just, it's like lying. It's like scamming, right? As soon as then one wrong slip up. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. And that one I'm fine admitting to. Exactly what you're saying in chat. Yeah, the 20-30 viewers, that's fine. And I'm fine saying that one on record. I'm totally, yeah. Get a few more chatters, you inflate it to 20-30 views more, so then you're higher in the rankings on Twitch. That view botting, I'm okay with, and I would even admit to. That's totally fine. Totally fine. When you're view botting, I've seen it's like the drama on the YouTubes lately, but I've also witnessed it. It's like through analyzing Kick. Like I watch some of the Kick channels. I'm like, there's a lot of people on Kick doing that. A lot of people on Kick where they only have like 10 to 20 people talking, but their view count, they've got like 2,000 viewers, and it's like, you do not. You most definitely do not have 2,000 viewers right now. And that's just, it's like your consciousness, but also like it's just not. Once you stop paying that, you're fucking dead. So it's like, as much as I hate how long it's taking me to get my hustle up, at least it's like I don't feel guilty, you know what I mean? I've bought subs for YouTube pages in the past as well, and the other slight hesitancy is because the platforms always adjust late. The platforms are usually about 2 years behind catching how you can buy subs or view bot. But sometimes the negative ramification is then those 2 years later, after they've caught up, they're able to identify the tracking history of those botted accounts, and they will impact your algorithm. So it's been like, I'm not paranoid about it, but the other question about the scenario is then, okay, so I view bot a little bit now to be able to get up to the top of a category, but then Twitch identifies in 2 to 3 years, they're like, oh, we know how to trace who is view botting. All of a sudden, all of my views are shot after I've made it. But all the bigger streamers 100% view bot, but Twitch doesn't care because they pull in big numbers. Shouldn't feel too bad though. You got to do what you got to do to make it work. Yeah, exactly. That's, again, I know embeds. Embeds are one of the big fucking tricks. They all create spam websites with embed links, and those embed links count as viewers. We got like an external candle, outdoor candle, decorative candle, floral, and massive. Good quality. Does it smell like anything? Kind of smells. Large candle, scented. Unsure of the scent. Unlit. Even is plastic wrapped. Stand is usable for many other applications. Faux floral decorations. It depends on the bots you're using / getting. If they are poorly coded, then it will be easily traceable. That is also very valid. Like, I'm kind of with it. I just, like, Stone, you specifically, I pitched creating the YouTube channel where you just spam AI scripts. I would sooner spend my time creating one of those fake channels to generate us income than to pay for bots on my own organic passion. You know what I mean? Slightly ethically, but also I think like monetarily, it's probably wiser for me if I do have expendable income to be able to pay for writers. I'd rather be like, yeah, I want to make a lore channel for anime, and we're gonna pump out. Yeah, and now you notice them. Yeah, and I'd rather make a lore channel for anime that just pumps out AI scripts. And rather than pay for viewbotting on my own account where I'm working organically, I'd rather make a secondary source of income from just starting a bullshit fucking page. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of people. It's just untalented fucks, which is also funny that I say I would be considering to do it. So I'm taking the irony there and humbly eat that pie. But it's like you don't have to be talented at all. You just take your money, you put it in, you pay for the AI editing program, and you pay for the AI chat writing bot, and then you just like, what's my idea today? Top 10 fights that Luffy won. Top 10 fights that fucking Bleach ever hosted. The best Dragon Ball Z battle ever. Why Eren Yeager became evil in Attack on Titan. And you keep them like surface level so that the AI can figure it out. And I'd rather pay for the money to bot that, to make that thing that's actually going to make you money, versus bought my channel where I could like pay money to bot myself and then also compromise my legitimate artistic integrity. And it's not. You also got the fucking Chinese one now too, right? You got Cloud. I think it is Cloud, not Cloud. But let me double check these photos. I think this one is good. I think I do need to add something for scale into this one. We'll add a set tape. No, I agree, and it's just like, yeah, ChatGPT is not too expensive at all. Okay. We'll do that cassette for scale. But I've rambled about it like every time I'm on stream recently, but I just need to get that YouTube channel monetized. And things are fucking coasting. I do not expect it to be bringing in, like, I don't think my YouTube channel gets monetized and I'm making like 10 grand a month. But if I can get even $200 a month off of YouTube, I can make that shit steamroll real fucking quick. I would definitely start with doing live stream recaps of our auction reaction. So then someone cuts that down to a 20-minute video. And then I would start making the unique YouTube content after that. I would probably start with like the live stream recap, and then I would start with people cutting down these streams. So I'd do live stream recap streams, then I would have someone watch this stream, cut it down to be like, my thoughts on viewbotting. And I could give them the title, be like, here's the title that I want you to cut it down to. I want the title of the YouTube video to end up being my thoughts on viewbotting and how to make money on YouTube. Cut down all the interesting parts. There you go, 20-minute digestible YouTube video, and then I start shooting the unique content, and we're just like slowly stockpiling. It's gonna add up over time, but mans can only be so inspired. We're gonna do Squirrel Nutcracker. Cast iron squirrel. But yeah, Stone, I swear to God, you want to make money, you can do that. We can do it on RuneScape. We can do a RuneScape channel. Fuck with that. Okay. Do a RuneScape channel. ChatGPT definitely knows enough about it. Just all the human-made ones are all hacker exploit based, so you just do basic tutorials. Oh, Stone, I have another. I don't think we talked about this one. I talked to Jeff and a few other people about it. Did you see the Brailled skateboards, that channel that was like popular for a little bit, and they were popular for a bit, and they were always like skating a Lego skateboard, skating a glass skateboard. They always had these like. You haven't talked to them in so long. They always had this like they were always stupid skateboard videos. And then the guy became, the Scientology guy. I'm so enamored by it. I don't, obviously, because I don't even have time to play video games, I say that I check it out. I do often, probably once every 2 weeks, I go back and check to see how this guy is trying to like huff copium to deal with it. Because it's just so intriguing to me in that capacity. I'm like, the amount of copium it's got to take this fucking man's to believe that he didn't sink his entire business. Like, how many Scientologists are in his ear just saying, like, hey, you're good. No, you're still doing it. Is that channel, we're talking about, like, YouTube stats and bringing in money. The amount of, like, it's still, because of the archive, still bringing in probably $10,000 to $20,000 a month. But without fresh uploads that are hitting the millions, he was probably making $50,000 a month easily previously. And that's $30,000 extra dollars a month. And you still gave all that money away to the church, and it's so interesting to watch his like new videos. He looks so he looks like the church has just sapped all life out of him. And also, I know Jeff's just doing his Jeffy thing. If you said hi to him, he would still respond. He's just typical Jeff. I know he still likes you. He still appreciates you. He's the same guy we've always known. He doesn't really change to be for better or worse. He's just still super nihilistic and doing his thing, and he's just like, well, it is what it is, so don't take it personally. You could, if you want, Discord me, and I can write a note, and I'll send you his phone number, and he'd be fine with that. He might not come and visit you. That's probably his only, because he's same pessimistic Jeff. He's like, oh, well, I'm too busy, and I got a lot of stuff at home, so I don't necessarily want to come pick you up, but you're welcome to come by if you can come out. He's that type of, he's the same sassy, pessimistic fuck. Where it's not necessarily, I don't want to see Eric, but it's also like, why am I going to drive out there? You know what I mean? He's got that same, he's got that same cut and dry attitude that he's always had. So it was similar with you. It's just, if he's sassy, it's based on that. I love and appreciate it, but it's just fun. It's some people, it's just still, even in our adulthood, don't know how to deal with that shit. But I digress. The church guy, the Scientology guy. Yeah, the Scientology guy was crazy. Very interesting scene. Very interesting to see how anyone could fall into it. But yeah, send me the DM. I'll hit you Jeffy's number. But I've just been super intrigued. All the old skaters who used to skate for that company now all have their own channels. I started to really enjoy the one guy, Ricky Glasser. He's like an Aussie. He's the Aussie blonde guy that used to skate for him. I started watching him. So he streams. He does like IRL skate content on live stream. which it was a really fun combo. I did like it. I was surprised. There's a few people that do it, and he's one of the few, and that was because of the Scientology drama. I found him, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised this hasn't blown up yet. And I imagine once like IRL streaming technology gets better, like i.e. the data signals, so that you can have a more clear stream, definitely think that's going to blow up way more, because it's dope. It's so cool to see a guy with a GoPro live on Twitch go to the skate park and just run a session. And it's this like PR brain, very entertaining, but also a weird dichotomy, because you are limiting yourself to only skaters, right? You're not doing React content, kind of like how I'm limiting myself to only people who are interested in the weird shit that I'm doing. Like, you're doing the same thing with skateboarding. They're kind of like, cool, you're doing IRL content, but I have to be into skating to watch you skate on live. Otherwise, I'm just going to go watch fucking Kai Cenat. You know what I mean? Yeah, I screwed all those other guys on the channel over too, I heard. Yeah, a lot of them. Because he was just like, yeah, we're shutting it down. They knew that they were running out of money, but he was just like, yeah, I'm shutting down the warehouse. Then I got grosser and deeper. I can go real deep about the knowledge because I watched all those guys' videos about it, but I've already rambled about it long enough. I'm trying to keep myself measured. So Nutcracker has some cosmetic damage. Is still functional. Unique piece with no maker's marks. One of a kind in some ways. Definitely cute though. And I'm just going to put that in the description. Yeah, shutting it down, giving all the money to Scientology. And then it came out, then they all admitted they were like keeping it on the low because they enjoyed working for the company so much. But they weren't paid on like a video by video basis. They weren't paid based on the performance of the content that they were making. They were all just making like above minimum wage. Like they were all making $20 an hour. That's where they were all dancing around how to word it. They're like, okay, well, we were making $20 an hour, so it was better than working in fast food or a restaurant. So, like, at the time, we were like, we can't complain because we're literally fucking skateboarders. So to be making $20 an hour isn't that bad. But when you were making $20 an hour on a channel and our videos are making millions of views, and we know they're bringing in like 50 grand each month, because we have our own YouTube channels and we know how much the ad rev gets. They're like, we're not complaining that we were making above minimum wage, but we're also saying that it's like, if we were the people in the videos and he's just giving all of that money to Scientology rather than us, that's where it kind of starts to get super fucked up. Like, we're not even saying that we should have gotten all the money, but like, if you're just giving all the money to Scientology, that's like 10 times worse. It's like that. It was such a funny balance when they started to learn all the details. And the main guy got hooked in the typical Scientology way, that they said he needed courses, and of course, then tickled my fancy because it's the Bailey. They said he needed lessons in communications, that he had to learn communications so that he could gain success through his business. Right? He had to learn both like marketing and communications, since it's what he does through his YouTube channel. So that was like, of course, what tickled my fancy. I was like, how did this guy get tricked based off of saying he had to learn marketing and communications through the Church of fucking Scientology? I'll show you all this in a second. This was one of Fran's finds, but she never actually used it, so I'm glad she chose to part with it, because I've never seen her use this in her life. This was, I think she was borderline hoarding this. I'm just gonna measure it and I'll show you guys when I get up. I don't know how anyone can be gullible enough for that shit. Yeah, the levels or whatever you take to buy into that stuff, they literally pay a fraction of the price to go to school and learn the same shit. That's exactly it. The communications thing. Yeah, it takes Scientology to tell you that you needed to take a marketing course. And again, I'm biased because public relations, because in my end, communications and public relations, right? Marketing is a tool that public relations implements. Like my communication strategy for a large business or corporation includes marketing. Like marketing is a subset of the education I took. So it's also that bias of for the church to be able to say you need to learn this thing is like completely misleading, because of course they're pointing you to the higher upper echelon one that they only know how to subvert, like literally manipulate people into buying a book and watch films on, is even grosser, because they're probably using that same high-end knowledge. But the Scientology, the gullible enough. Oh, the gullible enough thing. It's the same thing I've compared the Catholic Church stuff to recently too. It's just like, how can you be in this day and age? So it's Nutcracker here. He's literally, I don't know if there's a weird pun because it's like a squirrel and he's sitting on it. I don't want to get too lewd or gross about it. But it's a nutcracker and you're putting the nuts where other nuts could go. I don't know if that was like meant to be the bit, or if this is a practical build. I would hope that when someone designed this, it was a bit that was in mind, but there's a good chance this was a accidental phenomenon. I was saying the same for the Catholic Church recently, but it's the same thing. The Catholic Church and fucking the scientists, the Scientologists is like, how can you fall for that in the modern age? When, like, literally, all you have to do is Google it now. Like, that's... Scientology is like, how many YouTube pages and videos and fucking books and documentaries do you have on the Church of Scientology that you still go to one of those stress centers and fall for the trick? And then same thing with Catholicism. Shouts to all the Catholics out there. Let me just say that I'm not trying to be super rude. I'm trying to measure myself a little bit because I know the Catholics are way more powerful than the Scientologists. But it's also like, yeah, imagine becoming like, you're joining the Catholic Church not out of like hereditary. Like you end up joining the Catholic Church in your fucking 40s. Did you not Google what happens with the priests and stuff? Did you not like just punch into YouTube the Catholic Church and see what comes up? It's just like, how blinded from all media. Like it's so I can't understand anyone who becomes a part of those religions in their adulthood. Because like, bro, are you serious? Like you just decided that this was the move? You're just like, okay, I'll do this now. It's like, what? I get so tripped up at that. Yeah, Catholics are pretty much modern day fanatics. Shout out to the fucking Pope, whoever the new one's gonna be. We got another frame find here. It's just Avon. It's kind of cool, but it's so beat up. That's why I have to put it to auction. It was kind of worth money, but as you can see, this soap is really like damaged because it's traveled so much. But it's just like, first Buffalo nickel. It's a little ashtray with soap in it, so I'll sell it as an ashtray. It's Avon. It's not like some high-end fucking luxury piece. No, I haven't. The prophecy of the popes. It sounds familiar, but I'm also not gonna lie. So no, I don't recall it at the moment, but the hair does sound very mighty. The hair. I wrote a text about hair. The title does sound mighty familiar. That would make sense because when I was in high school, especially when you were around, that's when I was reading high school and college. I was reading all the Nostradamus shit. The prophecy of the popes. Here, I can take 2 seconds. So I'll take the quick Google synopsis and see if it jogs my memory. Latin. Purport to predict the Catholic popes beginning with Celestine. Series of 112 cryptic phrases. I don't know beyond. Given the acts of popes up to and around 1590, the lack of actually the popes effect generally include the alleged superficial as no official stance Catholic. The prophecy concludes with the pope identified as Peter the Roman, whose pontificate will allegedly precede the destruction of the city of Rome. So not Nostradamus. But it still would have been high school because this would have been the era that I was reading all the Dan Brown novels. This would have been like my Angels and Demons era. So just where does it go up to? That's the only part that I was confused about reading the synopsis. For this group of popes, the published text only provides names for the first 3. Wavy Man, yo. 1605, Wavy Man. So Benedict was the glory of the olive. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church there will sit. And then Peter the Roman comes after. Oh, so okay, I get why you're bringing up. The whole conspiracy is that the Pope who just died, his papacy was illegitimate because he was the one before resigned. So the one, but yeah, that's a tricky one because it's also like saying like the one in the prophecy says the 111th Pope or whatever will resign will be short and the one after will be Peter the Roman. Yeah, because like here what I'm seeing right now, I'm using Wikipedia. It's saying the one pope will have an incomplete sentence and will explicitly call the church out for its faults, i.e. the diddling and all that other stuff. And this guy doesn't even want to be buried with the popes. This guy doesn't even want to be buried in the cathedral. He wants to be buried outside of it. Right? So then, technically, according to the script, then the next one, whoever comes next, is the Peter the Roman. The next one is the one who destroys the church. Which is also creepy. Said Peter the Roman's dad was Francis, and the last pope that died is Pope Francis. So you got a couple creepy things going on here. Oh no. If 3 of them are named Peter, that's some nightmare shit. Peter the Roman, who will pasture his sheep in many tribulations, and when these things are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. Wow. It is uncanny, bro. It is mighty uncanny. Yeah, the Francis. The fact that it's saying the one who comes before Peter the Roman isn't going to be from Italy. It says that he's not going to be Italian. It says that he's going to have an incomplete sentence. It says that this, like, the Francis one was going to reveal the secrets of the church, which he did. Interesting. It's the fun amount of creepy, and the Catholic Church is on a precipice. It's on a big fucking precipice. Boys were making fun of me for using that word this weekend. I thought precipice was an okay word. I figured it wasn't that nerdy. I was playing golf, and I was like, the ball's right on the precipice. And they're like, who the fuck? They're like, precipice. So then just every opportunity they had after that, they're like, oh, it's on the precipice. I'm like, oh, fuck you guys. I don't know how to take a good photo of this. Yeah, it is oddly coincidental. We're adding into like a weird time. Like, look at all our modern political times. As predicted by Nostradamus, that's probably where you mixed it up. It's all that Nostradamus was the one that predicted that all of the global conflicts would end up in a modern era where we bring it all back to like Bethlehem. That we're all, like, everything was going to come back to Jerusalem as the stomping ground of the biggest global conflict that will end our world. And in terms of our political times, even if it doesn't end up in like a actual nuclear war, it's starting to look like what's going on in Gaza is causing the divides that will lead to the collapse of society as we know it. Avon, ashtray and soap dish, buffalo nickel. But hey, I mean, it's election day in Canada, so let's see how we fare here first. Not made in 1913, but commemorating the first buffalo nickel. I really want to write features a racist depiction of natives. I've been watching the latest season of Res Dogs on Prime. Very good, very good. I'm just so curious. I got to talk to another native person outside of you to double check. I enjoy the comedy of it while having the tasteful depiction of their native culture. And I'm just like, even as I'm watching him, like, I really hope this is true. Because if, like, I go to a native person, they're like, we're nothing like this. So yeah, your auntie hates the show, then exactly. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm like, I feel like it depicts things really well. And it's funny at the same time. But then I'm like, but I am still white guy watching it. So I'm like, if I go to a native person, a couple of them, if the majority are like, no, it's kind of ass. I guess, maybe. See, that's where I have to, like, artistically, okay, let me write this description and then I can do the rant. Made by Avon. Dish is in great condition and can be used for many applications. The soap itself has superficial damage. Still smells soapy. So it's kind of like the nonprofit jobs I used to work for, right? So like when I was working at the nonprofit jobs, you would do certain things to include native culture, immigrant culture, or these diverse cultures. But you would also have to have a certain level of education or artsiness to you to understand that it's including it. You weren't just saying like, we're celebrating Ramadan. You were like, oh, we're offering dates at this particular type of month. And to some folks who are, say, of that culture, if you're Muslim, you're looking at it going like, oh, to you that's not that weird. So they're like, the Muslim person observing it is like, oh, they just offer dates. Not thinking that it's supportive or accommodating of their culture. So in a way, that's objectifying. So the same thing with this show. As you're watching this show, I'm like, I think this is great, and I think it's paying homage. But even in this newest season, it's like super artsy. It's like it's definitely very artsy and out there. And I think it's doing a good job paying homage. But that same filter of what I just described with the offering dates and the person of that culture not acknowledging it, it's another like, I worry that it's too artsy to the point that the average person of the native culture that is trying to adequately represent is going to look at it and be like, but what is this? This doesn't represent me. Because it's trying to be too high-end and too woke. Which is like the antithesis of the inclusionary aspect of the show. Right? Like it's very cool that you want to get so artistic with it, but you're getting so artistic with it, you're isolating the audience that you're intending to empower through your creation. But I think that's I feel comfortable with how I worded that, and I've seen it replicated through a couple different media formats. But that's kind of my thoughts on it as I'm watching it. I'm like, I really like this, but it's so fucking artsy that I'm like, I kind of understand if an auntie, like you're saying, is watching this going like, what the fuck is this? And then if the auntie is saying, what the fuck is this, then is that show really inclusionary of that culture? Or is it just like one artsy fellow who stood out, who made a show that pleased white people? Me being one of the white people, and I can admit that. Like maybe, like, yeah, it was made by a native individual, and he still headlines the show, and yada yada. But if the auntie doesn't get it, then was it a show to highlight the culture, or was it a show to make white people happy about the culture? Which I don't have the fucking answer to that goddamn question. That's a question way above my pay grade. But as someone who's self-aware and, again, a PR guy, that's always the question you're going to have with content like that, like Res Dogs specifically. Super sick, but then, and even if it's made by someone of that culture, but is it made by someone of that culture to highlight that culture for those people, or for the people who view it objectively and already have biases on it, right? Because me, even again, Caucasian guy, I'm going, cool, I relate to this. I relate to this in how all of the people that I've met are of that culture, have explained their experiences to me. But even that, I'm doing the same gross objectifying thing. So I have to keep that in balance as I'm considering if it's inclusionary or not. And I'm sure this thing's being watched by a lot of people like me that also do not have the same amount of objective understanding of that issue, that are just like, oh yeah, this is got to be what it's like. Yeah, this totally must be what it's like. You know, so you end up in this catch-22 of like, you're trying to highlight your culture for people to understand better, but ultimately you could be like just almost creating another form of stereotypes. So So interesting. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna take to heart that you said you didn't mind it, but your auntie didn't, and I'm gonna have to. I gotta grill more native folks. Like, what do you think about this? That's just the whole time I'm watching it. Like, I'm watching. They have one of the latest episodes, and it's like two cousins fighting. It's like two cousins fighting because one of the cousins grew up without a parents, and the other one did. And I thought it was well done, but I'm also like I could see how like objectively, if you're like trying to like just view it from your own internal perspective, that it's like this is just a gross oversimplification of the family issues that we had. Yeah, I'll have to actually watch to gain an opinion, yeah. Like the other one that made me have this big thoughts in the latest season, and I won't spoil it, I won't give away the plot points, but one of the main characters meets the deer lady. So the deer lady is like the deer lady that hunts men who abused women and children, sometimes in residential schools, and in this particular topic it was about that. It was about like the deer lady spirit that haunts people in residential schools. And I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a fun episode. But it was, as I was going through this whole rant that I'm going through now, I'm like watching this, I'm like, boy, I could really see how an elder and an aunt, I could really see how an elder and an aunt would watch this and be like, this doesn't explain it nearly enough. Yeah, your family's from the deer clan. So specifically, this is like the latest season that just came out, so I suspect that your aunt hasn't watched it. And I was like, I really like this episode, but it just, that whole cycle that I just explained, the 100% cycle that I just explained was that. I was like, I enjoy this. I think it highlights it well. But if the auntie's watching this and doesn't get it and just thinks it's a gross depiction of what residential schools were like, then did it really fucking do its job? It might have just like been worse for the entire subject, you know? So that's sick. If there's one that I recommend, then if you're in the third season, you watch the Deer Lady episode and tell me if you think it was appropriate and beneficial or if it was not fun. Because I liked that. I liked the Deer Lady episode a lot, but then I was also like, but I'm white guy liking Deer Lady episode. And also funny, again, with our family superstitions aligning. Can't believe we're part of the deer clan and all that fun stuff. Ah, 125. Pull out the next one. I'm going to pop outside and we're going to try to fly through a bit more. I am further behind than I would have liked, so I will have to dedicate more time to it this week, which I do not want to do, but it is what it is. That's also so sick. It's funny too, because remember when we were at Horse Thief Canyon or whatever, and we were just sitting there on a rock? Yeah, and all the deer were running around. And the first time I ever saw an owl out there too. So we put some tobacco down and the deer rolled up, yeah. And also considering the area with the residential schools and the prison, I recall that very much so because of that specific balance. It's like, oh yeah, wow. Offering the tobacco. Then the deer roll up. And we saw an owl. a great horned owl, and I've been out there how many years of my life, and I've never seen a great horned owl. Yeah. Yeah, that shit hit me heavy. I never forget little subtle moments like that. The crows followed us, and we had all those weird moments when we were sleeping in BC in the middle of the mountains. We dragged a lot of shit around with us, buddy. Just remember that my family's always got your back there, too. But speaking of that, quickest BRB, I'm just popping outside right quick. I'm not going to get big distracted. It's not going to be like the last few streams. It's going to be a 5-minute one. Put the note on screen. I'm just going to have a quick smoky poo. And then I'm quitting for next week. I just got to get my taxes done this week. I got to get the tax man happy, and I'm going to fucking chain smoke through that, and then I'm going to quit. Alright, back. Back chat. Trying to book with my boys to watch fucking Thunderbolts on opening night. I watched Stoned. That's something Stone might be interested in. I watched Devil May Cry, the anime. Pretty good. Pretty good. I was impressed. I thought it was ass. I kinda liked it. I could literally might rewatch it. Because I had it as background content. For me, it was like background as I was working. I was like, "There's no way it's gonna be actually good." The Devil May Cry anime, and I was like, this is actually kind of fucking sick." Yeah, it was kind of. It pleased Raza. Raza just likes to see action in his anime, and it's just like action packed. Does the lore well. Really fun lore balance. It nails the character. Like, so many of these like video game animes, they really try to like modernize it and either make them like hyper progressive and woke. And again, I always find it funny because I'm the liberal. I'm the hyper liberal person, and I can still critique a show for trying to go way too woke. Like Marvel What If, that one, they tried to like. I enjoyed it, but of course those are the characters that they ended up with in the Marvel What If. I'm like, this is force feeding it a little bit too much, you know what I mean? And Devil May Cry, it was like, oh yeah, this is sick. They have a badass female character, but the badass female character isn't crying about how she's a female character the whole time. She's just badass. And just sick as fuck. She's like an orphan, and it was fun. And it's like the non-patronizing version of creating a badass female character. And then they nailed Dante. Like Dante, he's saying all his catchphrases, jackpot, like all the fucking time. And he's just so sick, and he's fun, and he's just hitting on everyone that walks. It's like, it was a really fun adaptation of it, and I was super surprised. Like I just couldn't. Again, I had it on as a background show, and I was like, "Wow, this is actually really good. I'm gonna have to watch this in my spare time. I have to do a rewatch on this." So yeah, good. I couldn't believe it. I had it on. I was like, "Oh, there's a Devil May Cry anime. I'll put this on in the background as I work." I was like, "Oh wow, that's fun." And what was the other Marvel one that I watched that I was like, oh, I watched Agatha All Along. And Agatha All Along on, and that was another one where I was like, oh, I'll just put this on. It's one of the Marvel shows I need to keep up. So I'll watch this Marvel show. We'll see how it goes. And I was like, oh, sure, I like this. I was like, wow. Again, maybe biased because of all the witchy stuff. Steiger, bedside, alarm clock, West German. Battery powered, no battery. Untested, but appears to be working in working condition. Modern era. Appears to be an alloy with gold plating. West German does give an interesting age, though. I'll show this one to Cam. I'm just surprised. I like this clock. If it didn't have the West Germany tag on it, I would definitely think it's 127. Okay. I'm definitely barely going to finish on schedule here. I'm going to have to tag in later. I was already going to come in on Thursday, so I'm going to have to plan some time for that. This little clock here, definitely, because you can see that those dimples and stuff, that's like modern alloy, that's like aluminium coating. It's not like actual gold, it's like fake gold. But you can see on the bottom here, this is West Germany, and then on the back it also has a West Germany tag. So that like automatically dates it, but I would have, if you handed me this, I guess the Berlin Wall was only knocked down in the 90s. So this could have been like late 80s, early 90s. Feels way more modern. Well, it's a good one. Yeah, it is. And it's battery powered. That's the other thing. This one's battery powered. The battery's missing out of the back. So I was surprised. We've had very consistent clock buyers though, so even if we put in broken or unworking clocks, we've already got a guy who buys broken clocks in our collection. So this is the next one. Since I'm already up, I'll show you guys this one. This one, the winder is jammed. This one's also West German. They definitely made a lot of clocks in West Germany. I can tell you that from my reselling experience. I barely know how they work, so I think this spring is overwound, and this will say. But here we got another one. Quite cool. Good condition. The blues. I really like these tasteful turquoise accents. Okay. That's a classic winder clock. And usually the springs will be overwound either by the previous owner or by a reseller, like someone like us who didn't know what they were doing. And they just kept like turning the thing and turning the thing and turning the thing. They quite easily go for the $20 that you would want out of them. It's another one. It's like watches. It's like all the other high-end collectibles. They go for way more on the internet. They go for way more to the right person who knows what the fuck they are. But how long are you gonna sit on it until I get $60 out of this, or am I gonna put it in the auction and get $20? Because I'm gonna sit on this for 3 years. Hence why Patty has it in the auction now, right? Blessings. Wind up alarm clock. West German. That one's dope. I haven't been really watching any anime lately. All the shows I was watching are on hold or whatever. Yeah, it's all good. I have to get back on my One Piece grind. Now it's almost been half a year. I took about a 4-month break off of One Piece because I'm on episode. I'm like in the 900s now. I'm like in the late 800s, 900s. I love it, but I don't think any TV show. I took 4 One Piece breaks because I couldn't. I really like it, but after I watch 200 episodes, I'm like, I can't. I need to purge my brain from thinking about fucking pirates eating fruits all the time. Sold as is, appears to be overwound. Will definitely need repairs and work to the mechanisms. Great condition exterior with pretty turquoise Turquoise is one that does get me. Turquoise accents. Yeah, like One Piece is now, One Piece is at like 1160. So I've got like 303 or 350 episodes left. So I wanted to wait until I could breathe a bit. They just started producing more of the One Piece episodes now. I love it. I absolutely love it. I 100% put it above Naruto, Bleach, all of the shonen. I'm sold on the One Piece message, especially with all our hippy dippy stuff. Like, One Piece hits all the it's a masterclass of writing, as well as subverting expectations while keeping it fucking goofy and Looney Tunes-esque. But underneath it, you have this insanely deep message that is very pertinent to society and conspiracy theories now. How conspiracy theory ridden it is crazy. Because there's all of this stuff coming out now with the pyramids and society where it's the ruling class doesn't want to let you know that there was thriving civilizations before our modern era, before the Romans. And that's literally the entire storyline of One Piece. The entire storyline of One Piece is that the world government was lying to everybody about how there was a thriving society of free people before their recorded history. So it's this weird, funny dichotomy. And then the fact that Luffy's ultimate power is the power of imagination. That he goes through all of this to end up 1,000 episodes in, and he was this goofy, carefree character, and you thought it was just a funny character trait, but it ends up being the power to free the entire world is the fact that he had a freedom of imagination and wanted freedom above anything. It was it's just I thoroughly he's probably, I love my Gundam, but in terms of being a writer, the fact that you could have a vision to write a story for 1,000+ manga chapters is just, and it makes sense. And it makes sense that you bring characters back hundreds of chapters later that was oh, that actually fit. I can't even comprehend. There's I'm not trying to toot my own horn too much, but there's not much content that I can watch that I'm oh yeah, I could have seen that coming. Oh yeah, this is the Marvel shows. I get that's where you're going. Okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. We're going to Thunderbolts now. All right, awesome. One Piece goes incredibly hard on the weird conspiracy theory stuff, but the fact that you have to watch 1,000, the deepness kicks in at about 700 to 800 episodes. They start hinting at it about 300 to 400 episodes in, and then it starts getting real serious about the world government and all the conspiracy shit. And it's just but the fact it's not like a cookie cutter. I can't just suggest someone hey, yeah, you have to watch 1,000 episodes until you're wow, this incredibly deep message makes sense. The floating one, Skypiea. See, Skypiea is even one of the ones that Angel Isle with the floating one. You're at first you're okay, very superficial. That is that Angel Isle one you watch. When you watch it at first, you're okay, this arc kind of sucks. And then once you're 4 arcs further, you're all that groundwork. Once you're 4 arcs further, which is another 500 episodes, you're all of a sudden just wow, all that shit that I watched during that, yeah, the Buddha looking dude and all this stuff that I thought was just oh, this is just bad storytelling. I didn't really like it. It was oh, it all ties everything that happened in that Skypiea one that everyone thought it's that one that you're using as the example is the one that all of the nerds use as the example of the genius of the writer. Because all of the nerds, when you first watch it, what you're saying is literally everyone's opinion. When you first watch it, everyone's just oh yeah, this one's kind of ass. And then by 400 episodes later, you're like, wow, every little detail of the storytelling of that was like it all added up to bigger shit later on. Like the people in the sky with the wings were like an ancient race of people who like populated the earth before the humans and the pirates, when the earth wasn't flooded by water. So that whole introduction of the people growing their wings was because they were always supposed to be like that, and then that's why they were hiding up in the sky. And then the government didn't want people to know that there were sky islands. So that's why it was such a big myth, and that's why it was like such a big deal that Luffy and only good pirates were able to actually find the sky islands, because the government didn't want you to know that they exist. And then they had that whole mantra, they had the hockey thing that ended up being like their version of like Ki from Dragon Ball, that like that whole introduction of the powers that they had ended up being the strongest power in the actual entire storyline. And and then like later on it was like Luffy was following Roger, like the old king of the pirates, and it turns out that like the king of the pirates ended up finding out one of the biggest myths of the world from when he was there. And like the first hint, like now they have Luffy's strongest power. And Luffy's strongest power was like foreshadowed all the way back in that arc. And now that they have like all the symbology for what his like superpower is now, they're like, you go back and he had like drawings of it. Like there's all these little cutscenes in that old Skypiea arc that was like showed what he was going to become. And the Buddha looking dude is still MIA in the storyline. People are still waiting for the Buddha-looking dude to come back. Because then even that's like the touch-and-go storyline, because it's like, of course, Luffy meets the Buddha-looking dude first. When, you find out that Luffy was, like, meant to be the savior of society and, like, the savior of all of this stuff. And of course he meets the lightning god that no one else could beat at the very first arc that everyone thought was boring and a cheapskate, but it ends up that it's like a whole destiny dealio. And it's just like, oh my god, I can't have that. And then after that arc, they go into one of the dumbest arcs ever that also is ass. It's also ass. But then everyone's like, I also believe the YouTube theories that like the arc after the Skypiea arc is also where they end up ultimately finding the One Piece. It's like the goofiest, dumbest arc of all of them. And then, but as they give all of the hints at where the One Piece is, then that goofiest, dumbest arc, you're like, oh. Like all the hints of where the One Piece is supposed to be. It's like, oh, it probably is there. Yeah, that's... We'll see. It's interesting. Even that I can ramble. I'm so passionate about even that. This is here. I got another one. I got to sell this one. We got another clock here, but this is like a classic. I will, you know what, I don't think I did scale photos. I gotta do scale photos right quick. The new One Piece is supposed to come out. Because another one of the deep messages about One Piece is that, like, the older generation accepts the truth that was fed to them. And if the younger generation chooses to fight it, then they're automatically denied as crazy, or that they're delinquents, or that they're lazy and they just want to cheat their way to the top. So, like, that's why Luffy and stuff are all hated on so much during the entire franchise. Because all of the generation before them is judging them for wanting to do it their own way. So, Oda, the guy who's letting the people animate the new version of it, is supposedly, that's been his whole theory, is like he wants them to be able to interpret the story in their own way. So he'll make sure that they hit the certain story beats, is what he said. He wants to make sure the certain plot points are hit, but however they choose to like condense it or take out certain filler arcs or switch up characters are like he wants to embrace that because of that exact epitome of the story that is supposed to be like knowledge passed down through generations is corrupted when you like limit it. So he's just gonna oversee it to make sure that they hit the points that are the main story beats, and then otherwise, like however they wanna, if they wanna condense it, if they wanna cut things out, if they wanna animate shit different, then he doesn't wanna control it. He wants to let them make it look however they want to make it look. So I'm very excited for how he can do that. No, exactly. So it won't be like a studio disaster or like the original creator won't let them have fun with it or modernize it, because he acknowledges that 1,200 episodes is way too fucking long. So if they decide to then only make it like 600 episodes, he'll be okay with it as long as they're hitting the main plot points. But that new series is also exactly why I don't rant to people to watch the current One Piece. When that new one comes out, that's when I'm going to be like, you gotta watch this. You gotta fucking watch this. So once the new one is out, then more digestible, more short, I'm going to be like, okay, now you have to watch One Piece. But right now, I can't. It's just not fair. I can't. I'm not. Even if you're an anime fan, I can't be like, watch this 1,000 episode show. I think everyone remembers these old AM/FM shows. This guy's tight. I've sold one of these for like $40 before, just because they don't make them anymore. So we'll see. Should go for a similar amount in auction. These were like back when power outages were a big concern. This one not windable. This one battery powered. And as you say that, I gotta double check let's make sure there's no battery in here. Oh, there is. Good thing. Thank you for mentioning. One of the bigger things about reselling, because you can't, if you leave these batteries in, the things fucking corrode, and everyone forgets to take batteries out of shit. I'm gonna be so much more anal about taking batteries out now because of this job. Oh, it's even got a headphone jack. That's interesting. Double A's though, only 4 double A's. And yeah, that's why I feel bad. I do agree. And then to be fair, like the confusing, I can keep that one short about One Piece. The confusing part is also because they're like finishing the current run, and then as they're finishing the current run, they're doing a remastered version. So the first chapter of the remastered version just came out on Netflix, where they're like redoing the animation and cutting out about like 10 episodes, 15 episodes every arc of just like, it was like filler, or they were talking too long about nonsense. Like, so they're doing a remastered with better animation that cuts out some of the filler. And then now this other studio is also making the redo of the entire series. So they have One Piece as it is. They have the remaster One Piece. And then the new one that's coming out is called The One Piece. So there's like 3 different versions that will be available ultimately when this is done. Which isn't too weird in the anime world, but trying to explain to someone who doesn't know what it is, you're like, oh fuck, how do I fuck? I'm kind of screwed. Radio flashlight. Yeah. Yeah, the One Piece. Which is like, I am very interested because the shit does get pretty fucking hype by like the fifth or sixth arc. So like already, like I loved the live action. I did really like it. The second season of the live action stuff already gets a little crazy. Like they already, by the second season, they're supposed to have the talking reindeer. Like they're supposed to have a lot of characters that I don't know how you're gonna do live action. And then, if it does keep going, like 3-4 episodes in, like 3-4 seasons in, like they have to be like underwater at Fishman Island. They have to be like, there's a literal war that happens in the show. It's supposed to come out for like fall/winter this year, the second season of the live action. I got my parents really into it. My family's really into it. Oh, by far. By far, and it was so close. Like, yeah. Even if you want to skip all the filler, the sickest, like, it's on Netflix, so then you don't have to buy another subscription. The last two arcs on Netflix, the Impel Down arc and the Marineford arc, are like top tier. That's like the whole story shifts. All the conspiracy stuff comes out, and it's just filled with action. It's like Luffy trying to break his brother out of prison, and then an entire war starts at the Marine headquarters. And it's just like every character they've introduced for the past like 600 episodes just going at it. It's just like so sick. I got hooked after those two arcs. Those two arcs were like, I'm a fan. Well, except Ghost in the Shell, but that doesn't count. Ghost in the Shell isn't a good live action adaptation. A classic piece that everyone had back in the day. Next thing you're going to say, the Attack on Titan live action adaptation was good. Man, I felt so bad for the Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation. Such a big Cowboy Bebop fan. Yeah, okay, good. Hell no. I'm such a big Cowboy Bebop fan, and then I was just like, I called it too. It was kind of like, oh, I forgot the comparison. Not Star Citizen, but like the Bethesda Star-based game. It's just like the tech just isn't there yet. You can't make a good Cowboy Bebop movie, like live action, without a Star Wars budget. Like I felt really bad for the actors primarily, because the actors weren't the ones that fucked it up. Like it was just a bad script. Like the actors were really, I didn't mind the actors in all their roles. I felt they played the characters as best as they could. But the show was just ass. Like it was just like I didn't mind the lead guy that they had, like that. I didn't mind the fucking White Castle guy being the lead actor. I loved the May Valentine actor. I loved that guy. I thought they all did great. But I'm like, they just didn't show all the cool space battles. They didn't show any of the good anime fights. They they really westernized it in a super distasteful way. It was like, and the actors, I feel like it wasn't their fault. Maybe if they were the ones that had the say to be like, we can't do that, we can't do this. But I just felt so bad for the actors in that adaptation. I was like, God, because it's not even their fault that this was so bad. They did their characters well, but the show was just so bad. Classic piece that everyone had back in the day. Practically mint condition. Fantastic quality. No signs of battery erosion. I wasn't sure, but I could be interested. I've been, I asked Raza what he wanted. Raza wanted to hang out in person, but maybe I'll ask him and check in on that. Maybe we'll Dune Marathon instead. We could do a Dune Marathon with the three of us. I'll actually write that down right now. Raza Dunathon. Could be a fun way to have a breather. Who's messaging me to request access to it? Yeah, he asked me to hang out this weekend and then didn't get back to me. We're both doing our own things this weekend, so it's nothing weird. Just we get to it. But I kind of fucks with it, just, you know, my normal schedule. It's just like, the thing is, like, even if I get super into it, I can't be putting like WoW level hours. Try to request Steam, so that I'll get that. I'll do the Steam. I'll do the Dune as soon as I get home. Done. I'm on it. Cause yeah, I'll play. I should play. I miss an MMO. I miss a good MMO. Yo, we hit 410 on YouTube. We're fucking, the higher that goes, the more chances Stoned here gets paid to mod on auction nights. Then even streams like these, that's, I need to pay someone. I need to, probably Panda, but someone. Then a stream like this. The whole thing isn't great content. I'm not delusional. Sitting here for fucking three hours talking to myself. But if I could get someone to watch this entire VOD and cut it down to 20 minutes, that's a YouTube video. It's a good YouTube video. Cut out the fucking talking about Luffy, cut out the talking about the products, show the products. Like, that's a fucking video right there. So once that YouTube is monetized, bro, praise the golf gods. I gotta figure out how to give thanks to all the old golf legends that are gonna make my career fucking viable. Gotta send some praise to some fucking passed away golf legends for sure. This shit, bro. Stoned may recognize these. They don't sell for anything anymore. They're very cool, very interesting. These used to be like critical to certain people's types of business. I'll just put it that way. These used to be critical for certain types of business. Digital HPS bulb. These are light speed grow bulbs. But you can get LED lights that have replaced these, right? You can get the LEDs off of Amazon that cost F all now. But these are high speed grow bulbs. These are like if you wanted to create a indoor grow situation for whichever types of herbs and vegetables you may have in mind. Any variety of herbs and vegetables. You would need a whole row of these high powered, high lumen bulbs that create a full spectrum of light. It is 1,000-watt bulb, as big as my fucking head, right? As big as my head. Very cool, interesting piece. But the thing is now, to run this equipment costs a buttload of money, because you need the rig that can power a 1,000-watt bulb. You need the fucking sockets for it. And then you need the different types of power adapters to accommodate that much power flow going through those items. So these got obsolete real quick. Formerly, these would have been $200-$300. Now, $20 a pop. I was even checking the eBay values, and it's like there's no resale on these at all, which is disappointing. These 1,000-watt bulbs used to be critical to folks who wanted to grow vegetables of any variety. And now these vegetable bulbs are outshone by buying an LED panel with purple spectrum lights on fucking Amazon, right? So it's kind of like a massively defeating switch up. Oh shit, my phone's about to die. It's constantly playing catch up with the stuff. So we'll do the bulbs. I made good progress. Slower today than I wanted, but acceptable slow, but still not happy. Bro, I have to buy a new charging cable for my car because this bloody thing will not. I guess. Ooh, we'll use the webcam cable when I'm in my whip after. That's what we'll use. 2x 1,000-watt row light bulbs. Looms original OEM box is what we'll say. Okay. Then again, everyone, I do want to remind you that I do simulcast. So I'm on Twitch, I'm on Kick, and I am on the YouTube. So if it's your first time popping in because you caught some of my random videos on the YouTubes, don't be afraid to follow. I do these streams quite often. Tomorrow I'm having a little bit of a boring admin day because the government caught up to me, so I have to get my taxes up and prepped appropriately. And then Wednesday I'll be doing an all-day website work stream, so you can catch me then. Thursday I'm gonna have to pop in because I am a little behind. Do a little bit of work with Patty and get about like 5 more lots done. And I'll be happy to call it a day from there. This thing, I have a loose charging port on my cell phone, and it is the most annoying thing I've ever experienced. I try to charge it in constantly, and it just floops out. We got flaccid charging cable. Big flaccid charging cable. I just feel like I'm missing something with these boxes, but I don't think I am. Maybe. The flaccid ones are the worst, yeah. It's just constantly, so that's like, I was just rambling doing the other work, and I thought my phone was charging, and it's just not. I'm trying to hold it, it's just like, it is my fault, it's bad etiquette on the charging, but then I come to work with like 20-30%. And my fucking, by the time I'm listing, I'm fighting it. I'm fighting the fucking 5% demons here today. Stoned, are there any sports games you would like to play? Other than you brought up the rematch, do you play sports games at all? You'd be fucking stoked to play some sports games, maybe. We'll see. With me looking for a part-time job, things do get way more complicated. I don't want to play too many sports games. Just the one, because you gotta control the one guy. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. I respect it, I respect it. It's not for everyone. Again, it's a different kind of strategy, so. Like, I might do my golf stream when I do my golf stream Wednesday, I might have like I might have my website work thing in the corner, so you could just see me like clicking away on shit as I'm doing the golf stuff. And then I can still clip the golf videos quick enough. I think that's the one tweak I'll be making to that setup. I think I'll just slightly switch it so that I think it was confirmed that there will be a commander mode on MTG Arena. I would fuck with that. There's no way that they don't. Commander mode has become one. Well, speaking way too confidently, but like definitely one of the predominant modes. I was about to say the mode, but it's definitely one of the predominant modes of playing now. Great condition bulbs and cases. Bulbs seem to be unused, but is difficult to verify as we do not have the equipment for it. Very important pieces of grow tech previously now outshone har by LED tech. I like to have a little bit of fun with the descriptions. I don't get carried away, but in that case, I literally put har in it. Very important pieces of grow tech previously now outshone har by LED tech. And that was lot number 129. Now we're on lot 130. Yeah. If I had, yeah. MTG is one of those, like, I wish I had time and money. I would love to play way more Magic, both the real card game, because I know they also have that other version where you can play matches with people with, like, the webcam facing your playmat, and then you guys can play and it, like, read your cards as you're playing. Like some fucking Yu-Gi-Oh style shit. But it just... Man's barely got time for himself. Gotta get a part-time job. Then man's gotta get on the dating. I ain't too thirsty. I ain't thirsty in a panicky way, because I'm not like a wah emotional lonely. But man, I kind of want some physical company. Man, kind of wants to get a little loving going on. You know what I mean? So it's I gotta get dating life intact, and then sort out how to add video games to it. So I'm in this like shitty in between of like, I'm not stressed. I'm not sad, alone, lonely, but I'm like the predictable type of lonely. And that shit needs to be on the priority list because this is strictly a matter of my own time investment that is causing me issues. If I just made a bit more time in the week to be able to go out and have some fun, I'm very sure it would be possible. Just find a gamer lady, get two birds stoned at once. Well, that would be helpful. If I could find a gamer lady that wants to get two birds stoned at once, I'm down with it. But even then, deal with gamer lady, I still gotta be on a dating app. I still gotta seduce a gaming lady. You know what I mean? It's one of those like funny trade-offs. I'm like, yeah, that would be ideal. That'd be sick if I find a gamer lady. But I'm confident enough that it's not a matter of like I'm not incel-y. It's not an incel-y. But it's no, it's 100% just because I'm way too fucking busy. I get messages on the dating apps. I'm like, I'm gonna go to work instead. So it's slower than I wanted, but it's okay. So we're gonna do the 2 Batman comics, then I'll do this DVD lot, and I'm calling it a fucking day here. Calling it a gosh darn day. 30 minutes to do that, that's good, that's fine. 30 minutes, 3 lots, that's fine. Call it a day, I'll shoot the rest when I'm back in here. Thursday, then I also have to have a meeting with Patty regarding, I'll be at a market for next May the 10th. Maybe that will also be, I could see, I don't think so, but I want to live stream while I'm at markets, kind of like the Pokemon mans. I want to like Coops Collectibles, I want to have like my own Pokemon live stream, but I'm not going to rush that one. I'll be right back in 5 minutes. You got a 5-minute breather, and I'll be right back stoned. I'll be right back. I got everything? Yep. Alright, back already. As I said, 2 seconds. Had half of. All that work I did on this PC really helped. I still would like a new one eventually, but I successfully saved the desperate need to replace the CPU and or buy a new PC. Ideally, it's got to be buying a new PC, but we got 2X Batman comics. We're just going to do it like that. And since they're sealed, I'm not going to open them up, so these will be the quickest listing. We got Batman with Deadshot. Yeah, Batman versus Deadshot. And I've got one of the Dark Knight, Batman Dark Knight Gothic. So put these guys 2X Batman Comics original. 2X original Batman Comics. Great condition, sealed with cardboard backing. Yeah, I gave out. Speaking of our boy Jeff, I gave Jeff the. I had Batman versus the KKK. I gave that to him. Because it was just too awesome. It was too fucking hilarious. "2X Batman Comics, Deadshot, and Gothic. Great condition, near mint, cardboard backing, no signs of creases or reading." Yeah, the Batman versus the KKK was crazy. And then I gave Dev Das the damn it, I said his last name just because it's too cool. I gave Dev the fucking he had like Batman Origins from the 1990s run is what I gave him. Plug this bad boy back in. There's lot 130. Batman versus the KKK is crazy though. I wonder how that would have been received back in the day. It was definitely like a early 90s, late 80s comic, and it's like, I wonder if there's a little bit of backlash about Batman fighting the KKK. Okay. Last one. I'll squish it. I'm going to squish in one more. So we're going to do 2 more. Then I'll call it a day, because then that's only like 5 lots I have to come back to. It's very wild. This is another talk about wild. Living Hebrew. The complete language course. It is a record set that is the new simplified method to learn how to communicate in Hebrew. Conversational manual for how to communicate in Hebrew. And it's like a Duolingo on how to talk Hebrew. So this guy, 1970s, I think. The living language courses on how to understand your Jewish compatriots. That's, I was totally wrong. I eBay comped it. I was like, oh, this has to be worth money on eBay. Nope. Nope. No one. I wonder if it's a sign of the political times, but no one wanted the record set on how to communicate in Hebrew. Living Hebrew. Complete CIB. We'll do CIB. CIB set of records. Great condition. No scratches. Appears to be like new. Fun guide on how to learn a new language. Great collection piece. Yep. Living language courses. There's even some kid scribbled Hebrew on the cover. Specifically prepared for use with, okay. Prepared in cooperation with the Seminary School of Jewish Studies and Jewish Theological Seminary. 1958, actually. Interesting. Peak propaganda era. 1950s, so we'll add that to the title at the very least, if not the description. CIB set of 1950s. CIB records, 1950s. Hebrew. Done. Save. Add another lot. Lot number 132. It's our DVD pile, and our DVD pile will be our last one today. I am kind of concerned about putting tape on this. I think I'm out of saran wrap. I'll test a little bit of tape on the back and see if that tears it off. Put my tape. If the tape sits there too long, it might fuck up the book. So I'm gonna put it on the back. 131. And then I'll pack up. This place closes for 6, so I gotta get out of here for 6. So that's why I like to leave for 5:30 at the latest. And I'll do a little notch of tape to keep that sealed. This place closes for 6, so I like to try to make sure I have like 20 minutes to pack up and get out of here. Because as overall experienced artists, bro, it's the biggest hassle when you're like fucking rushing. I gotta pack up a webcam, I gotta do this, I gotta get my bag, I gotta fucking pack up my cell phone. And everything is just like, you gotta pack up all this shit in like less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You miss something every single time. So I like to leave with a little bit of grace period so we can double check everything and check it all out. And this one is also the longest description to write, so this is perfect for that time frame I was describing. And then that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots. So that's fine. I can shoot that on Thursday. And this one, I'll show you. We've got almost all the seasons of Entourage. All the seasons of Entourage. Walk the Line. We got Billy Madison, Back to School. We got True Blood, Edward Scissorhands. But yeah, Rescue Me is the other one. I don't know what Rescue Me is though. So it's a decent collection of DVDs. We'll do DVD a lot. And then that is the day. So DVD lot. DVD lot. Entourage. I spelled Entourage wrong. Rescue Me. Plus. So we had Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5. Seasons 1 through 5 of Entourage. Why do I... Wow. Funny that I keep spelling Entourage wrong. Walk the Line, Canada version. Billy Madison, Canada version. Rescue Me, Season 1. Rescue Me. Various seasons. True Blood Season 1. And True Blood Season 1 and Edward Scissorhands. All right. Never did like Entourage. I feel like Entourage was just praising rich folks for already being rich. It was like, just fetishize the lifestyle of Hollywood actors, you know what I mean? There we go, 132. All right, figure out how to pack those ones up. Turn you guys to the corner as I go do this. Prop you up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing as I finish up here. don't know how to tape this one up. That's the other part you guys get to enjoy. I think I'm gonna like slap it on the ground and then creep it up. Don't rip. Don't rip. One, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Done. Okay. Fuck out of here. Let's pack this all up. All right. That was a good work day. I mean, that's a minimum $100 worth of product, so it's well worth my time. As this auction house grows, we're only going to have more stuff coming up. Look at this 7-Up logo. Coca-Cola bottles. Our audience is developing. Me and Patty already had to move, we moved a couch out of a house that we were paid to move. And it was an interesting experience because already it's like, it's so frustrating when I need money so bad right now. But like, all the people involved are like, so stoked on the concepts of what we're presenting. The lady we're helping with the couch, for example, is then I'll relay you to my friend who's a real estate agent, and then, oh yeah, I know this organization that helps furnish homes for newly landed immigrants. So if you guys have furniture that you can't sell, you can call them and they'll take it. And there's always all these cool opportunities slowly popping the fuck up. But it's like, man's still gotta somehow make their goddamn bills at the same time. So it's this annoying dichotomy that like constantly we're being proven that we're not crazy and it all makes sense. But we also need that cashola. So hence why I gotta get a part-time job, and I'm just gonna declare it like, I'm gonna treat it like college. I'm gonna treat it like college time and just put in the fucking work. I just gotta put in the work for the next 4 years, and it just is what it is. Then ideally after that, I get to breathe a little bit. But such is life. I say that, I can't whine. I'm still afforded so many other freedoms than so many other folks who work a normal 9 to 5. Like you can see, I'm just hanging out and talking to chat. So as much as I am working, I do love and enjoy my work. I would say that's the one detriment of the facility that we're in right now, like working out of this warehouse, because if I didn't have a time limit on it, if I didn't have to leave for the 6 p.m. mark that I'm getting out of here for, bro, I'd be hanging out with you guys all day. I just have it on, and then I can be a little lax about my time frame. Because I literally can just hang out, have dinner, I can have you guys on all day, I can just get the work done, I don't have to move at a specific pace, I can just make sure I get everything I need to get done, and not have to oblige myself to other people's working calendar. But again, such is life, and as much as I have these other freedoms, I can't really whine about that. You know, like that's already a lot more than other people have. So it is most definitely a catch-22 of being humble, but wanting to secure more freedoms and still having to work and pay goddamn bills in this lifetime. But stoned, appreciate you popping through. Anyone who is on the YouTubes, again, new, old, someone popping in for the first time, someone scrubbing through a video, thank you for hanging out. This is something that I do on a very consistent basis. My name is Bailey. I run an eBay store alongside my buddy Paddy, that is P-A-D-D-Y, of Paddy's Pop-Ups. And he focuses more on in-person sales, while I focus more on my eBay store, which I have under the moniker Grandma's Dead Stock, which is content you will see me making on a weekly basis. In the case of this week, I have to focus again on the admin side of things, as well as finish a website that I have under contract, which is a fun experience. So I'll be on converting some golf tapes. You may have stumbled upon my channel because these golf tapes have been feeding me fantastically well, which also does tickle my artistry itch, because I'm literally preserving lost media. So that's something that once I run out of these golf videos, something I can do for fun. We can search through eBay, we can search through thrift stores and just try to find DVDs and VHS of stuff that just simply is not on YouTube. So it will be to farm me views, but at the same time it will provide like a nice creative outlet. So it's like we get the best of both worlds, right? But we hit the 3-hour mark. I hit my 5:30 mark. We're at 132 auction items. And we're fucking cooking. That makes me happy. We're at 95. Patty's got to carry a little bit of his weight and probably list another 40 to 50 more. If I'm talking transparently, and I'm fine because me and Patty do talk honestly, so I'm not smack talking him. I don't think he's going to make 40 to 50 more. So we'll see. I'll come in and do these other 6 when I'm in here the next day, and just see where he's at. And call it happy at that concept. He's got some high ticket items coming in, so hopefully that bumps the viewership and the bid counts on our set. But it is what it is. Respect that balance. Thank you, Stone. Thank you everyone who's watching, who isn't commenting, because I do see y'all on the view count. I see that I got some creepers. I see that some of y'all creeping me and you're not talking in the chat. Like I'm intimidating? I'm intimidating? You're scared of me? You're scared of why? Why? Okay, alright. Stone, shouts to you. I'll register for the beta on Dune, and we'll talk soon, buddy. I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone who watches this. We're going to keep grinding. Even if I have to adjust paths and get the part-time job, we ain't going to quit. We still going to be here, alright? Alright, we're going to catch you soon. Later. Shouts.